Hey everybody, welcome to my Quant Elite membership software section. Just wanted to showcase what will be disappearing over the next couple of months. This is also to showcase a lot of hidden gems in this membership. This membership has been in existence for about 5, very close to 6 years. So let me give you a focus on what is available and what will be disappearing forever. All right, so if you do decide very soon, before we expire all this stuff, what you'll do is you'll get this section on the membership. In here, you'll get 4 different dashboards. Now, these have been recorded in the last 6 months. This Python infrastructure building block section. This is an entire course on how to build out a trading system with all the pieces or components that you would need. That covers the brokers with TWS, Yahoo Finance, visualization, databases, specifically revolving around open source NoSQL, MongoDB, and Redis. I've talked about both numerous times on my YouTube channel under the appropriate playlists. Also in there you'll find another dashboard called Python Algo Trading Indie Business Course Futures Options. This has 24 weeks worth of material in there. This is currently underway at 8 o'clock every Monday, Eastern Standard Time, same time as New York. And we're currently right here at the intemporal commodity pricing storage. And we do all our video playbacks. Now, I gotta stress here, you will get source code. Okay, so when I mention this infrastructure building block, you get source code there. That's all Python. This one of the futures option currently is very basic, but somewhat useful source code for both C++ and Python. The idea here is to help you get started to building out your own system and the basics. So I just wanted to showcase that. Okay, so let's go on about the other stuff that is going to disappear. Now, before I continue, this product, I have been having the products themselves assessed on the market value. These can be worth up to about $3,000, because we'll be targeting through special advertising and marketing hedge fund professionals who are wanting to obviously be forced to automate. So they're willing to pay up to $3,000 for this material, and we know that as a fact. So that will be broken out into a separate product, and it will get very expensive to as we move up into the higher end of the market with our aggressive marketing plan going to start in the next few months. All right, so those are the 2 current and recent products. Again, these will be separated into separate products moving forward once we close out all this material and pretty well take out and remove the Elite membership. The other things that you should be aware of is this other dashboard. Here, what will be happening is we've got lots of good stuff. We've had various R courses, MATLAB courses, and complete courses. All these videos are available on my YouTube channel, but unless you want to go searching for 1,500 videos on my YouTube channel, you may not know what you're looking for, so they may not, you wouldn't know they exist. But that's why one of the other features of this membership is to showcase and consolidate everything, just to let people know what is most useful from my YouTube channel, because again, I've got over 1,500 videos hosted on my YouTube channel, which is quite vast, and I would never expect anyone, and for the next 3 generations of their kids and so on, to go through all of the videos. It would be literally impossible in a lifetime, I would think. So in here we've got some interesting things about obviously features on my videos on this membership. We've got some interesting earlier material that is somewhat getting outdated, but still can be useful. It's another reason why I'm closing out this membership, because it's very hard to update all this material. And I just said, you know what, screw it. Here's the easier way. Here's the easier path. So I'm going to remove all of this permanently, because just so everybody knows is that I have experimented for about 9 months with R, which was great. But you know, now that I'm like pretty well knee deep in Python, I see no reason to keep R around. But as I said, all my R stuff will be made available as again a separate course, which my current R stuff is. All right, so again, we've had some presentations on using some of the more popular products, R, Hadoop, R statistics programming, and now we get into the nitty gritty stuff of the material. All right, so years ago, I was a big fan of .NET and Windows. Were great, but recently, starting late 2015, where Microsoft decided to force people onto Windows 10, which was an absolute nightmare from my point of view. I dropped everything Windows and .NET related, moved to Mac, and I have not looked back since, and it works great. And I also get the security being on Mac and eventually Linux and or BSD. So I'm very excited to be moving forward with that. So all this stuff that you're looking at, I'm about to show you, is .NET, and a lot of it's C# or even Excel. So in here you'll find how to handle market data capture, backtesting. I've had many people make, probably the best way to put it is the unfortunate ignorant move, because they don't know that they go out and spend thousands of dollars on databases for historical data. In these techniques here, I show how to use tools like IQFeed or services like IQFeed, and obviously Q Collector and some other tools, Excel add-ins that you can use to really create powerful software on Windows, which I still may do over the next couple of months to stay on Windows, just for this software and the ability to create all my historical data. I mean, that's the only, honestly, real purpose that I'm going to stay on Windows. So I know that IQFeed's trying to put solutions out there for Mac users, including myself, which I'm very grateful for, but then that takes away on my other third-party software where I can't do any of the cool stuff that I have the abilities with on Windows and not on Mac. So it's got nothing to do with IQFeed now, it's just those particular tools that I mentioned, the third-party stuff. So that is there. Now also, I do a pretty vast section on market data. Obviously, as you know, I go on about interactive brokers and how they're great for market data and for API connections into their gateway or network using their software called Trader Workstation, and obviously their API. So I've got some demos here. Again, all the source code is available. And again, that's C#. Now, for those that don't know, maybe new to it, I've got probably literally now in the thousands of users now through Facebook the last year or two about that are into algorithmic trading, but there are pretty well three platforms, I guess. Two are open source and one is commercial, and this is for researching and prototyping your trading models. Obviously, the two big ones are R and Python, so which I both have used to my advantage, but the real supreme being, the master of it all, is MATLAB. And I'm just getting back into MATLAB with a 2016A version, and believe me, I can promise you that MATLAB, with what I can do, will blow away anything you see or use in both Python and R. It is so outdated compared to what MATLAB can do, and because I'm able to bang out professional videos, I can bang out professional reports that is all going to be part of my new upcoming service, where you're going to be able to find reports that you will not be able to find elsewhere. And at the same time, I can generate C++ code and connect it into Java components like jar files, and now it calls native Python script as well. So it's very, very, very powerful. But it's expensive, I admit that. But here in these sections, again, these will be permanently removed, and you'll never ever see these again. Because back a few years ago, I was known as the guy that showed how to generate code from models and whatnot. This is all going to disappear now, and showing how the early stages of how to connect into .NET and Java components. So again, all these demos you see here are going to disappear. Now, somebody hinted at, hey man, you're using YouTube as your video distributor, and this is true. I will not argue that. But those are unlisted videos that nobody would know other than my members. So there's that. Some of them are even so secretive, I password protect them. So they're out there. You just got to find them. And I don't go out there and promote this stuff. Why? Because it's all about you being motivated, you to explore this membership, you to find out what you want in this membership. This is the only membership of its kind out there that's been up for the last 4 or 5 years now with this material. And as I said, I'll be removing this permanently, and no public access will be available to anybody outside of my small, let me repeat, very, very, very small select number of members that will stay on, as they will be working with me to bang out some of this data and services and software to bring out like ultimate software for automation, high frequency trading you will not get elsewhere. So be aware of that. And again, all of this will be removed in the next couple of weeks. It looks like in the next couple of weeks. So I want to stress that. So again, let's continue with MATLAB. So here you'll get some demos on MATLAB. One of the most powerful things I cannot stress, this is back to 4 or 5 years ago when I started experimenting with Simulink, and is the ultimate tool that I would probably down the line use for prototyping amazing models, okay, visually. And I can generate code from them in C or C++, and I also can deploy them onto an FPGA environment as well, which is pretty well the world's fastest and ultra lowest latency piece of hardware that you can use for your trading models. And I'll give you an example. Microsoft now will be using FPGA on their Azure servers for their machine learning components. They are not going to be using software. They'll be using FPGA to serve up the requests as they come on FPGA. That's how fast and sophisticated these boards are. So look them up. And a lot of HFT shops are using them as well. So again, the best way to author that code is using FPGA. Again, so once this code, all these demos disappear, I have them, and a small select number of my members will have access to this. Okay, so again, we've talked about Simulink. In here, I've done a very vast set of demos on all the commercial databases out there, be it SQL Server. I've looked at MySQL. I've looked at all the NoSQL, including Mongo, Redis, Cassandra, using both R and Java. I've seen some really cool stuff that you can do with R and scaling with Redis. It's unbelievable stuff that nobody really talks about. I'm quite surprised by it. Again, we do vast MySQL. We do vast demos for big data purposes before big data became big. And again, we've covered all the big boys of Cassandra, Redis, and this active quant, which is no longer around. And again, we also, at the time when streaming data was a big deal, we looked at all the different capabilities using TSQL, Stream Insights, and CEP on SQL Server. And again, I'm not using any of these technologies, but there's still a lot of people that want to know about it. But right now, my choice is, moving forward, is Redis. So again, I gotta stress, all the source code's there. It's available in various languages that I'm talking about. Okay, so the next section I talk about is market data. And back testing. Again, we talked about IQ generating your back data, all the third-party applications that are out there, how to push data. Virtually using open source technology is a good example. In here, you'll find is the what do you call it? 0MQ. Now, this little guy right here is an actual basic architecture of a system that I built using .NET, using Redis, using 0MQ. So that's there with all the source code. Again, disappears. So again, interactive brokers, TWS for interactive brokers, that all disappears. Okay, so let's see here, MATLAB. Now, MATLAB again is so freaking vast. It can do so many things. Here, as an example, is MuPad. Now, again, if you're coming from the world of Python, using Iron Python, which is now pretty well, as far as I know, has been renamed Jupyter. This is probably one of the early renditions of how to build out through scientific notation, using an editor, and then being able to code automatically on the fly and convert that to MATLAB M scripts. And there's another methodology where you can turn that into C++. Very rapid way to hand code, instead of hand coding your model from, let's say, R or Python, and then reconverting it into C++ or C, you can do that on the fly using this methodology that I came up with on how to convert that easily. And believe me, there's a lot of HFT, hedge fund shops that have to hire, $150,000 coders to do that process. Well, guess what? I figured a way to get around that using these methodologies. And I show that in these modules. And again, source code is provided, the videos are provided, and so on and so forth. Let me show you here. Now, just so everybody understands where I go back to the demos, a lot of the demos that you'll see are not even on YouTube. They are hosted privately on my AWS Amazon account, and you won't find these publicly anywhere. So those don't exist. Okay, so let me go back to where I was. But you can see it's very vast just by the length of this video, and we haven't even gotten started yet. Okay, so here we get into, again, using all the different models that are capable, using Garch, using the financial toolbox, again, all the different available classic technical analysis and math techniques, signal processing, which is really important, all the different methodologies, Markov chain, k-mean, clustering, and you can create these obviously using a GUI tool. It's amazing. I'm just amazed that people don't really take advantage of it. All the different math techniques, Cholesky, LU, DR, PDE, so on and so forth. PCA, we talked about nonlinear splines, some very definite mathematical techniques that I've looked at, and different models. And people are going to argue, yeah, I can get that out there, but guess what? I do all that work for you. I believe, let me just see what's available in these. I haven't looked at these in many months. Yeah, so this is an example of a video that you will not find on YouTube, and there's probably, I don't know, a couple hundred of these on my YouTube channel or on my Amazon. You can't get access to these otherwise, and again, these are going to disappear. So let me repeat that. These will disappear forever, and nobody's going to have access to them. So when you start seeing me bang out highly sophisticated looking reports, this is where it comes from. Okay, so I want everybody to understand that. I'm just in awe with this because I can automate this and go crazy with it. Now, this is a very powerful tool. A lot of people don't understand this, system identification. Let me just tell you this. I could take a time series and look at that time series 6 different ways, automatically on the fly, and then be able to look at how to forecast with that. Just as a tip out there, again, all the demos are covered in here. Man, I could go on and on about this. Now, let me stop there. You can see the integration that you can get with .NET, using the C++ and MATLAB Stateflow, which is part of the Simulink. You can also use Excel IQFE right from MATLAB's workspace. Like, it's unbelievable what you get. Now, we talked about R. Okay, this is now separate from my R course. This will still exist. Well, let me just give you the major sections. So we talked about mean reversion, pair trading, technical analysis, all in R, some quant stuff, quant with the Garch, and then we go back into the economics, econometrics. I don't know if that still exists or maybe merged into another toolbox. I'm not sure. As I said, this can be fairly old stuff. Then we delve into using TradeLink, which no longer exists, by the way, but I still show you how to build out the QuantLib Excel for integration. If you are into QuantLib, it's pretty powerful. TradeLink's not bad, but it's Windows again, and obviously I moved off it. So again, we move back into R, arbitrage and volatility, mean reversion, again, technical analysis, quant stuff, the Garch, and then we get into some more algorithmic stuff. I'm not even going to get into these. Look at all the different counterparty risk that you can look at. Again, we look at the MATLAB Financial Toolbox, and this section is a monster, but this will disappear. We use fast Fourier, Markov, k-means. I've already shown you that. Wavelet, curve fitting, as I said, system identification, strategy development. Golly gee, it's so much. Autoregressive stuff, CAPM, market efficiency, angle Granger, co-integration for pair trading, auto, regressive, Brownian motion, random walk theory for market efficiency. Man, it's just so much. And if you miss out, you miss out. What can I do? Anyways, I don't want to go on about it. You got more MATLAB, R course. I think there's some duplicate obviously in here. But you get the idea. All right, so that's the big monster dashboard. On the other dashboard, the monster one. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. No matter what level you're at, we pretty well can cover you. Now, this is another section. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to sit here and brag about this, but this has existed for many, many years. I just want to show you something here. These so-called books, these are PDFs that you can download. Just check out where they come from. Okay, these are professional research papers. I don't think you can get anywhere, but these kind of have to go, and they will disappear. Okay, it's just look at them all. There's a couple of hundred in here. See, but they're all gonna disappear. Okay, so there's that. This is the reason why I don't brag about this stuff. I don't promote it, but it's there. If people are smart when they pay to get access, and then they basically can find some neat stuff. All right, so there's this section here that we have. Some of this is dead in the water because people don't use it. Maybe people don't know. My fault. I take blame for that. Well, I'll show you the courses. Let me see what we got in our stuff. Okay, it's been a while since I've looked at some material here. Okay, that's dead to the world. Let's see, we got lots of bonus material. Okay, this one I did was my own attempt of coding up the Super Karen trader. Well, it's pretty well dead because she's now been charged or something. Stock screeners for Excel, R statistics, open source stock exchange simulators, a very big debate between somebody out of London called London Quant. Ernie Chan is probably the #1 video I've ever done. And again, pitfalls of backtesting. Now again, this is coming back from a professional. I'll tell you this, professionals don't really use backtesting a whole lot, not to the level that the retail trader guys do it at. Apologies, you guys getting a lot of free tips out of me in this video. That's cool. Oh man. Okay, so under here we have our categories. Under here you'll get another system that I tried. That's all done in MATLAB. Let's see if that's still available. I think I pulled it off actually. So I'm not even gonna attempt to make that. See, I've segregated out the algorithms, Bayesian, CAPM, ARIMA, some Excel stuff. Let's see what's under Excel. Yes, you can still use Excel. There's some very good uses for it, but again, the really cool stuff is using Excel on Windows, unfortunately, but maybe just one day they may make Excel add-ins and whatnot available on Mac. I don't know, but I don't keep up to date with it. I just don't have time to worry about different software. Let's see what's under software here. I don't think there's a whole lot. Oh no, there should be. But one thing I want people to understand is that, again, this has been in development for numerous years. You can see here there's just so much information. WX widget, did that a few months ago, interactive brokers, demo, and there's source code in some of these as well. You just gotta know what you're looking for. If people ever wanted to know what's out here, you obviously have a search button here that you can search for everything. I'm always available, as you can tell by the chat box that I'm closing out, and usually I get back pretty fast, within a couple hours, usually if it's working hours or if it's on weekends, maybe even a couple hours. But my members are my top priority for my business, so I try to treat everybody pretty well. Okay, so you can see how vast this goes. There's so much stuff here. Some of them have source code. I've even talked about things like using DevExpress for the charting libraries, and source code that I've made available there. There's just, you gotta dig, man, and search and figure it all out. There is just an absolute number of, and look, what I just showed you on cycling back, I'm still going back in January, and again, this is 5 years of stuff. It's crazy. R scripts. Let's see what got available for that, because R is popular. Source code, source code, source code. Lots of source code for R. Let's see what we got here. R, let's see what else, because I know R, okay, so we know the R model. Courseware is part of that stuff that I showed you. Yeah, that's the course files. This is one of them. For all the available files, use a download here, boom. Boy, this is huge. I don't even know where to begin. It's massive. I'm really sorry to see it go to the public, but you know, if people who sat on the fence have not taken advantage of this the last few years, I'm sorry to say you've kind of missed out. We've got math here. Like, just looking at it, there's so much stuff. It's crazy. I mean, there's so much stuff I haven't even seen in years. Notes on futures trading. Oh yes, how could I forget? I've gone through many courses myself. I've included so many notes. I've included that as part of my membership. Again, you know, hedging with options and blah 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 blah. These have been transcribed by myself. I've got those broken out from the course that I'm doing now, Futures and Options. So that's available. But again, that sort of stuff will disappear. So I've got both those covered. Now the math, where's the math? Oh yes, math. The math I've also done with, or maybe it's math algo. I've done the same process with Khan Academy. I spent maybe, I think it was like 4 months going through Khan Academy, introducing my complete math roadmap to enhance your quant trading thanks to Khan Academy. Here we go. This is the pure math that you would typically use in quant. Transpose of a matrix. Let's see the kind of things that you can expect to find in this. Obviously, we have the downloads from Khan Academy. Let's see what this takes us, but it's available if people are interested in this sort of stuff. Oh, yeah, so that's now, I guess, useless. Oh well, I tried. I think that's pretty well it. There's a lot of stuff in here I don't even remember, to be honest. But I'll be going through it over probably the holidays. Just scouring stuff, looking for things. There's so much, but again, it's all going to disappear, and it's going to come out in dribs and drabs through my new services. But the stuff that creates it is not going to be made available. Oh, one last thing. I do know that's important. FPGA, I've talked about. This we were lucky to get. We call him Mr. FPGA. We did some. He just focuses on FPGA boards, and he's talked about his approaches to FPGA. So you can see here there's lots of videos on that and articles. So again, I don't make this available to anybody outside of my membership. So there you go. That's kind of like what's out there in this membership. Lots of stuff. I don't know how long this video is, but it's massive, and I'm just probably realistically scraping the barrel. All right, so hopefully you want to take advantage of it before it gets closed out permanently. Goodbye, bye-bye. Yeah, I would take action now, I guess. Over and out.